I'm just waiting for Twitch to catch up with me. There we go. I see it. All right. I appreciate you once more. And again, this is the Institute for Higher Consciousness. I am your spiritual guide, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined me on today. Now, on last week, we began talking about being able to understand that many times when we're in the birthing process, that there are a lot of things that come out with the baby. Whether it is liquid, whether it's solid, whether it's blood, whatever the case may be, there's a lot that can tend to come out along with that baby. Today's teaching, I'm going to kind of give an experiential teaching on today. And if you'll stay with me, I still want to continue along this idea of the process. Because as I said on the last week, a lot of times in our teaching, we do not acknowledge and address the fact that so many things are in a process. We talk about being pregnant with something and having a baby, but one minute we're pregnant, the next minute we're having a baby, and there's no discussion about what all happens in the process in between. So we touched on that last week. Out with the baby, not only does the baby come out, but you're also going to get high emotions from that pregnant mother because her hormones are moaning, those hormones are raging, those hormones are going through at such a high level, at a peak level, that that state of emotion is highest and heightened during that time. We talked about, again, the idea of when you push, and when you're pushing out that baby, there's going to be pain, whether they do an episiotomy and cut the area so the baby can come out, whether it's just the natural stretching of the area to be able to produce that baby. There's pain that goes along with that. Cutting of the umbilical cord, there's pain that goes along with that. Blood, there's that element of all of that mess, if I can call it that, that is involved and activated during the birthing process. It's not a clean, simple, cut and dry scenario. Even if you have a C-section, it's going to still involve a lot to it in the process. So as we're talking about birthing, as we're talking about it's happening, and it truly is, and understanding that we are in that place of birthing forth the new thing in the earth right now. Even on in yesterday's stream, it just ended up being one nonstop ministry stream, where we really didn't get an opportunity to really talk about our normal formatting. But, it was just one of those powerful, powerful streams where the Spirit was just there throughout the entirety of the stream. And what was it that the Spirit kept telling us to be understood? That our flavor would open the door to the favor, and we just have to be ourselves. But that coming forth and being in a position to receive what God has for us, that's very, very critical. So as we look at all of that process, and it's happening for sure, it's happening. We are the ING crowd for certain. That place of knowing that God is working and birthing in us. And then we talked again, even from the standpoint of, it's not going to be a matter of the caterpillar, the stages, the caterpillar, the cocoon, or really for butterflies, actually chrysalis, the caterpillar, the cocoon, the chrysalis, onto the butterfly. Once that butterfly comes into the state of being a butterfly, it does not continue to reflect back and go back to the state when it was wrapped up in the cocoon, nor that prior state of being the caterpillar, because that metamorphosis is complete. And what God is doing in this right now is a complete work. Please believe me. What God is doing right now is a complete work in us. So you're going through all these processes, you're feeling all of these things. What I want to kind of bring into the picture today is the understanding that you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be worried about the process and not being able to complete the process. Sometimes you can get in the middle of something and be like, maybe I'm in too deep, or I've bit off more than I can chew, or whatever the case may be. This is bigger than me. It's beyond me. No, it's not. God knows exactly what you can handle. God knows exactly what God put in you. And it was for the purpose of bringing it to pass as a full-born, healthy baby. So I want to kind of alleviate any stress or any worry that tries to pop up as a result of the process. And I understand when you're in that process and you're not really sure what all's going on. Many of you echoed on last week after the session or during reclaiming the text that this was a perfect conversation to have on last week, because you found yourself in a place where you're wondering what's going on. So any place that I can bring some clarity and help you to understand the process and be able to see it for what it is, that's what I want to do. On today, I want to kind of deal with the piece of the puzzle. I said if I was going to name this session, it would be the dress and the yes, the dress and the yes. So after we're coming into this place of the birthing, right? It's happened, but there's still process. And once more and again, I want to continue to reiterate, think about a baby in a baby's process. Whenever you start to feel anxious, whenever you start to feel anxiety, whenever you start to feel worry or concern about your process and your ability to complete the process or what's happening in the process, I want to encourage you to just reflect back to the reality of what happens in an actual baby's process. So today I want to deal with, last week we talked about pushing out the baby. We talked about the messy discard that needs to be cast away after the baby is born, and not getting confused between getting confused between the brown stuff, the urine, the blood, the placenta, the afterbirth, not getting confused between that and seeing that and experiencing that and getting confused as to what's going on with your baby. Everything's fine. Everything's normal. It's a part of the process. So today I wanted to kind of touch on this idea to take it one step further after the baby's out. And many of us are, we're at that phase where we're at that place where we're out. We know we're out. Initially, there's that point of getting washed up. Again, as I said earlier, there's the place of cutting off the umbilical cord because it's no longer needed, and it has provided and given you the supply and the source of life that you needed from that mother in that place in the womb. But just like that caterpillar, you no longer need to continue. You're not going to crawl back up in your mama's womb. I don't care how much you want to get back up in there. So some places and spaces we're in for a moment, but we can never go back to those spaces. We can never go back to those spaces. We can never go back to those places. I'll never go back to being a caterpillar. I'll never go back to being in a cocoon. Understand what I'm saying? I am that butterfly and I'm flying, or I am that baby and I've been birthed out of my mother's canal. I can't go back up in there. So now that we're out and we understand I'm going to get washed up, they might even have to shape my head a little bit. It might be a little bit deformed, definitely cut the umbilical. But I want to take it even one step further. So say we're out now, we're out. As I said, if I were going to name this, I would call it the dress and the yes, because there are going to be things that are going to happen in your journey that are going to begin to test and see how well you're adapting to this new environment. If I wanted to put it in an analogy format, I would say it would be like when we start immediately, one of the first things the babies are going to want to do, other than sleep from having that traumatic experience of coming out of the birth canal, they're going to want to eat. They're going to want to eat. So as you understand, you begin to ingest and then digest the mother's milk. You begin, and that milk becomes your life-sustaining force for a period of time. That milk becomes a life sustaining force. You don't just come out and automatically start gobbling down meat, right? We talked about the spiritual doula on last week, who also is helping to deliver the baby. And I shared with you, many of you are going to identify there's a spiritual doula that's present in your life to walk you through this journey. I'm going to say that doula is still going to be in position even as you come through this phase right here. And so, spiritual thought leader, what phase do you want to talk about today? That eating that the baby does when it's first born, that's almost all it does is eat and sleep. Eat, sleep, poop, eat, sleep, poop. That's about all it does. Eat, sleep, poop. And you're going to find that in these early stages of being out, we're going to be just like that baby. We're going to eat, sleep, poop, eat, sleep, poop. So at the end of the day, good morning, KK. Good to see you. At the end of the day, I want you to understand that there's going to be that element of process going on in your world as well, where it's going to seem like, and for me, I want to define and describe that sleep state, kind of like that place where you're wrapped up with God, that place where when we talked about anchoring your core, it may not involve and engage a lot of other people. It may just be you and God. It may be you in your quiet place. It may, for me, it's always in nature and around some water. Or sometimes just here in my room as I'm just meditating or just thinking on different things. That place is where I'm sleeping and I'm just replenishing and getting my strength. And I'm growing and I'm developing, and my organs and everything that's vital to me that needs to happen is being formulated and growing. And now that I'm in this new place, after all of the time of being in that womb, after all of that time of being covered in the protection of my mother's belly, now I'm out. And so I want to say, for those of you, and that's really to many of you, Renee, loving your life, come on in here, good to see you. There is that element of now that God has pushed you out. God has pushed you out and you're now in this new environment, and you're no longer in a sack of fluid. You're actually breathing air. You understand what I'm saying? And let's go back to the elements that we talked about in the foundations. When we start going back to the elements and begin to understand, okay, I'm no longer encapsulated in this sack of fluid. I no longer have this umbilical that's connected to me to provide me the nourishment that I need. Now I have to take and ingest the nourishment myself, or else I won't get any nourishment. That umbilical serves me no more purpose. And my mother can no longer give me the food that I need by that umbilical. I've got to drink it. I've got to swallow it. I've got to digest it. So this place is a new place. And so I want to encourage you. I know it's new. It's new for me too. Let me just be clear. That's why I said I just wanted to share, even from a testimonial facet today, about the dress and the yes. So it's new for all of us as we come into this place. So don't be alarmed, because it's part of the process. And that's why I wanted to cover it, so that as you're walking through this journey, I want to help alleviate some of the stress and the worry that would try to come upon you as to whether or not, am I on the right track? Am I, what? I want to keep breaking this down so you can see it from the process. So that baby takes in that milk, that baby nurses. Now, again, I want to come back to the idea that nourishment, that milk that baby is taking in from that mother, or that I'm going to keep going back to the spiritual doula that's also assisting through your journey right now. You're drinking up everything you can get. You're soaking it up. You're soaking it up. When your spirit is out and about in the earth, you're sensitive, you're listening, you're soaking up, and different things and different times, the spirit will kind of tap you on your shoulder and be like, pay attention. And you start just like a sponge soaking it up. That baby will ingest that milk, and that milk that is providing life to that baby At the point in time that, we put that little diaper over our shoulder or blanket over our shoulder, and we put that baby up on our shoulder and we pat their back. And why are we doing that? Because we pat the back to get all of that gas out of there, because we don't want the baby to get colicky. We don't want the baby to start cramping from gas. We want to get that gas out of there. So I want you to, again, in this process, understand that even after you've ingested and you've eaten up all of the things that are for you to ingest during this phase of your journey, there's going to be times when that doula is going to come, that spiritual doula is going to come, put you over their shoulder and begin to pat you on the back, and you're going to burp, because you got to get that gas out or you're going to get colicky. You got to get that gas out or you're going to start hurting and screaming and crying, because there's gas in there that needs to be released. Now, not only are you going to get gas out, but the reason why we put that diaper or that blanket over the shoulder is because we understand that as we're burping this baby, some of that milk is going to come back up. So be it well understood, even in this process, some of that milk is still going to come back up. Come on, KK. It's uncomfortable, but it's needed. Some of that, yes, the very essence of what is sustaining you and giving you life, some of that is going to be spit back up because it needs to come out. Now, as you get into this process and understand that you're in that burping process and some milk is going to come back up, I want to use it from the analogy of my experience about this dress and the yes. So we've been talking about we're under an open heaven. We've been teaching that, as Dr. Dady said, 6 months or more, we've been talking about we're under an open heaven. God is doing new things. We're talking about it's happening. We know that we've been birthed out of the birthing canal. We know that we're no longer in the comfort, if you will, the security, if you will, the safety, if you will, of the placenta in that mother's womb. We are now actually in the earth, and we're ready to do what it is that God created us to do. I'm ready to do what it is that God created me to do. I want you to say that. I'm ready to do what it is that God created me to do. One more time. I'm ready to do what it is that God created me to do. So you're taking in the milk because you're still in the process of a newborn. You're taking in the milk, you've ingested it. Now, this was my situation. We're talking about we're under an open heaven and all of this, and we're taking it in. We're talking about how God is getting ready to pour us out blessings, miracles, signs, and wonders, all of these declarations that we know to be true, and it's happening. But you'll still have little elements of burping, of gas, of something that needs to get out of your system. Now that you're in this new place, in this new phase, you'll find yourself in a place where you spit up a little bit of the milk. Yes, that nourishment that has been poured into your system. You're still working your intestinal system, your digestive system is still working to metabolize all of that and to break it down appropriately. So you get that spit up, and that's why the doula, your spiritual doula, is going to see it. They're going to identify it, and they're going to burp you. I wanted to interject this today because when you start burping, when you start passing gas, when you start spitting up, I don't want you to be alarmed. This is a part of the process that the baby goes through, but it's healthy. Hear me. This is a part of the process that the baby goes through, but it is healthy. So as I went through this past week, my family decided they wanted to surprise me. They wanted to surprise me with a special birthday event. So we started on Thursday. It was really 2 days that they tied into this event that they had planned as a grand finale at the symphony. So the first night we went, and first and foremost, they went to a store that I'm not familiar with. Know about it, heard about it, not uncommon to the reality that it exists. it's not somewhere that I shop because it's typically outside of my purview. So I don't pay it any attention. I know it's there, but God bless them. So the minute we walk in the store, and I started eyeballing and looking around and seeing some things because they wanted to get something special for me. They just wanted me to have something that I liked. Get something that you like. We want to give you something new before we go to the symphony. So I walk around and I see two different items that catch my eye. One is a beautiful black fly suit. That suit was gorgeous. It was a different design. It was everything that I like in an outfit because I want something that's different. I want something that I'm not going to see walking down the street on the person next to me. That's the way I like to be. I'll get it from vintage. I'll get it from consignment, but I like to do and see what nobody else is out there wearing. That's what I want to get. Now, so I looked at that but it was black. And I was like, I'm coming into my 59th year. I'm here. This is my last year in my 50s. Next year's my big 6-0. We're going to do it up. I don't want black. I want some color. So I look over and lo and behold, this dress catches my eye. This dress catches my attention, and I'm like, whoa, I love this dress. It's a beautiful orange. People think it's red, but it's actually orange. If I can call it hot orange, I don't know. Dress with the no sleeve. It had one sleeve in and the other sleeve was nowhere to be found. The whole other half of the dress is nowhere to be found. Good morning, John Studios. Come on in. This is an open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. And so thank you for coming in today. We're just sharing some nuggets. But back to the story. I saw this dress. I loved this dress. SK8843, good morning to you. Come on in here. One reason, good morning to you. This is an open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. So come on in, take a seat, and enjoy the teaching. So this dress, back to the story. This dress, I loved it. And I'm gonna just be honest. I loved the dress. I really did. Right off the bat, there were no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I loved the dress. What I didn't love about the dress was the price tag. And because, hey, maybe y'all got it like that. But, my thing is one of the first things I'll do when I come in is I stop and I look at that price tag to see how much it is. As a matter of fact, for this kind of store, typically what I'll do, I see you, Michelle Brown. Oh, come on in here. Usually what I'll do on this type of a store, I'm going to go straight to the reduced rack. I mean, it's like when I come in the store, I know where the sales rack is for the reduced merchandise because I'm not getting ready to pay full price for not in these types of retail stores. Those sticker prices send me into sticker shock. So needless to say, I looked at this dress and went straight immediately into sticker shock. Now, mind you, I'm preaching and I'm teaching. We're under an open heaven. I'm preaching and I'm teaching. These blessings are about to overtake you. I'm saying every day in the lion's den, get ready, get ready, get ready. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, hasn't even entered into your imagination. It hasn't even entered into your mind the good things that God has in store for you. I see you, SK. It's hot and the shoulder meats and the thigh meats were showing. Yes. And so it's like, because again, this is a new iteration of me. We're not trying to do that old STL. This is a new iteration of me. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, but the iteration isn't only the look. The iteration is to release my mind from the limitation of cost. I said something right there, and somebody else needs to hear this. The change was not only the change from the look, it also was addressing the change that my mind needed to undergo from the cost. And not only from the cost, but also from the standpoint of receiving, because some of you are givers. You're constantly giving, you're constantly giving, you're constantly giving, but you don't know how to receive. You're uncomfortable receiving. As a matter of fact, when I finally, so we went on Thursday and I eyeballed the dress. I said, oh, no way, y'all. No way. No. When I saw, and it was just strictly sticker shock. I promise you. Anything else about the dress, we walking out the store with this dress. But that ticket, that sticker shock was like, no ma'am, no sir. Now I got in the car and I said, okay, this was the agreement we made. We'll go to a consignment shop. We'll go to, because I love consignment. I shop consignment. Ain't no shame in my game. I will shop consignment. Very nice, gently used clothes that I otherwise could not afford, that I can get at a reasonable price that I can afford. No shame in my game. And still looking for that item that everybody is not walking down the street in. I'm not trying to see everybody in the same outfit that I have on. But this is where I had to burp. I had gas, y'all. I had the gas. My doulas had to put me up on the blanket, up on the diaper, on their shoulder, and pat me and get that gas out. You understand what I'm saying? They had, yes, the gastrics. I had to get the gas out, because I still, my system, my digestive system was still struggling with this idea of receiving. My digestive system was still struggling with the idea of, I'm going to pay full price for that. Number two, let's deal with the reality. I wasn't paying full price for it. Somebody else was. And let's deal with that there is someone that's wanting to bless you and you're telling them no. You understand what I'm saying? There's someone that's wanting to pour into you and you're telling them no. There's someone that wants to feed into your ministry, if you will, and you're telling them no. And it was like, this was a litmus test. And so I want you to get that in your mind. As you've been birthed, there are going to be different areas that you're going to come to in this new phase and in this new place. That's going to be a litmus test. So this was a litmus test for STL. The dress. Can I get a yes? So I went home and I had 3 of my doulas and they were on me like ugly on the 8. In a very loving way, but they were on me like ugly on an 8, because this is what you've been talking about all this time. And the blessing is finally on you. And as one of my doulas said, you're blocking your blessing. Wow. I had to really think about that. I'm blocking the blessing that we've been talking about all this time. Therein, as I shared on yesterday in our stream, I didn't go through all of the story, but I told you in the stream on yesterday, God's got an open heaven and he's raining down on you. And some of us, raining down on me, and some of us are coming out in the rain with galoshes, with a rain scarf, a rain cap, an umbrella, a full force, a water sled. I mean, we come out fully in anti-rain gear and start walking around in the rain that God is pouring on us. So the Lord said to me, he said, listen, the dress has to be a yes. The dress has to be a yes. And this is all about the internal working of me coming out of the mentality and the mindset. Didn't have any problem with the new look. I didn't have a problem with that. But if you want to listen, I tell you what gets close to STL, listen, when you start talking money and money, you're going to get me right there. You're going to get me right there. And it's that if you're not ready, or if you're not prepared for the blessings to come in all ways, and for some of you, it's whatever it is, fill in the blank. You know what your area is. For you, it may be something else. And I have a few areas, but money is one of them. So it's like, until you pass that litmus test, and when you get to those places where, guess what? that Thursday night rendezvous at the store, at that high-end retail store that I'm not accustomed to. That was my litmus test. And I ingested the milk, but my doulas had to pat me on the back so I could pass that gas and burp up, get out of my system the milk that I could not digest. You understand what I'm saying? So that I would not be in a state of colic. So I would not be in a state of pain. So I would not be in a state of discomfort. They had to gently pat me through that phase and help me spit up that I could not ingest and digest. They had to pat me on the back and help me spit that up so I could be well. So when I listen and I observe where many of us are in this journey, we've been birthed. We talked about being able to understand when we push, that push is going to also push out some urine. That push is also going to push out some fecal material. That push is going to also push out the afterbirth and the placenta and all the blood and everything else that goes along with that. And that for a season that has kept us, protected us, and allowed us to live and have life and grow is no longer necessary, and it must be discarded. It must be. You can't take the placenta with you. You can't take the umbilical with you. You can't, and you sure don't want all of the different urine and the fecal material that's also coming out with that push. You've got to have that doula, and you've got to have that ability to have that doula clean up and separate the two and be able to cut that umbilical and have a good, healthy baby. Now, we've got past that point. Okay, now I'm telling you, for some of you, you're going to be in a position just like I'm addressing here. You got to be able to accept those blessings. You're going to find yourselves, because it's a new place and a new thing. And it's not just materialistic things either. So let me be clear on that. I'm not getting ready to go into this is all about materialism. For some of us, it's some very simple things that are internalized about our character that God is healing us from and helping us to be able to move on to. Some of you just need to learn how to receive, period. Some of us just need to know I don't always have to be the giver, and I don't have to be uncomfortable when somebody wants to give to me anything. I'm not talking about materialism either. I mean, some of us are uncomfortable. Help. Some of us are uncomfortable when somebody just wants to offer us help, because we're so acclimated to being the helper. We're so acclimated to being the doer. We're so acclimated to being the performer that when help comes to us, we don't know how to accept help. You know what I'm saying? So some of us need even compliments. Some of us that have not seen ourselves in a healthy way. Some of us that have been traumatized by things that have happened in our lives. Some of us who have not had compliments and have not had people say nice things to us, but rather we may have been those ones. Yes, when I grew up, I heard Little Black Sambo. When I grew up, I heard Tar Baby. When I grew up, I heard all kinds of stories about being a bone. Even a dog wants some meat on the bone. Stick, skinny, mini. I heard all of that. Buck teeth Bucky, all of these different things that we hear, and four-eyed, whatever, and we hear this repeatedly over and over again. And then we don't hear anything to counteract what we're hearing over and over again, and you start to believe the madness. Some of us need to learn how to just be able to receive compliments and receive even from yourself, not even from outside of you. Some of you need to learn how to receive a compliment from yourself. Some of you may need to learn how to enjoy being with yourself and loving yourself and having a good time with yourself, genuinely, not going through woe is me, I'm by myself, and bemoaning it and just struggling. And can you be happy with you? Can you love you? Love yourself first every day. Can you compliment you? Can you be happy with you? So come on, John, because there's so much good in you, sir. The power that you are, you are a lion. and we're going to hear you roar. So to have that ability to be able to receive that. And so for you, that burp, and I'm not just singling John out, but I'm saying anybody that finds yourself in some of these areas, your burp may be when you hear that, you feel yourself. You know what a burp and a throw up is? It's regurgitation and pushing back or pushing out that's inside. You're pushing it back outside of yourself. So somebody's trying to give you a compliment and you're burping it or you're spitting it up. You're pushing it right back out. They're trying to, really bring you into a place of love. They're trying to bring you into a place of helping your confidence. They're trying to speak that into you, and you're constantly pushing it back, pushing it out. That right there, as we talk through this process, again, recognize you're a baby. You're okay. You're okay. Even though you may have burped, even though you may have spit up, you're okay. It's part of the process. Keep going. Just because I had a little bit of spit up this time after I ate, does that mean I'm not going to feed next time because I burped up? No. Because I passed gas? No. Because I spit up? No. Next time that breast rolls around for free feeding, I'm going to eat. And that's where a lot of times in our process, we will withdraw because I burped, I passed gas, I spit up the last time. I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to mess up. And listen, it's not a mess up. That's why the doula, and I keep talking about your spiritual doula, that's why that doula has that blanket or has that diaper there so that if you do spit up, there's something to catch it. And there are times if you ever, and I know you mothers have seen this, fathers as well, where it's not just a little bit of spit up. It's almost like everything they ate came back up. Everything they ate just came back up. But then again, even if that is the case, you don't not feed the baby the next time. The baby doesn't stop eating because because this is one thing that you'll find even in people as they're throwing up, there's still some nourishment that's still down in there. There's still some good. There's still some sustenance that's still in your system. It may look like everything came up, but there's still something that's still in your system that can do you some good. So, even in the throw up, if it's a full blown throw up that you feel yourself going through as you're coming in to this spiritual journey of the new you, that's okay. Because guess what? You got spiritual doulas here. You've got mothers here. You've got fathers here. You've got spiritual oversight here that's here to help you get whatever. There's a reason why. If all of it came back up, maybe there was something wrong. We're going to identify what that issue is and we're going to get you well. But you will survive. You will live. You will thrive. You will. And this is why today I really wanted to stop because, again, as Dr. Dady talks about in engagement matters, and many times she talks about pivoting past the discord. These are the places of discord that I want to talk about because, again, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. And then next thing you know, I got a baby. And we never address the reality of those processes that we have to go through. But listen, Adam and Eve were the only two that came here fully grown. Understand me. Adam and Eve were the only two that came here fully grown. Everybody else has to go through process. So I just want you, and there's my alarm. We're time to reclaim the text. But just understand, the one and only Keisha Key. There's my sunshine. Come on in here today. We're having an open session of the Institute on today. So come on in and join us. So again, why do I say that? Because so many times our expectations are, I need to be fully grown. And no, you're going to go through processes. Hear me. You're going to go through processes. That dress and a yes was my litmus test. And it was probably one of many until I get that digestive system where it's able to tolerate all of it. Or until, whatever needs to happen to address it, sometimes we got to change formula or whatever the case may be. But until I can get to a point where we don't need that litmus test anymore, guess what? That litmus test is going to keep coming until I pass it. So the dress and a yes, that was a litmus test that I'm grateful that I passed that one. But am I oblivious to the fact that there's going to be another feeding? There's going to be another burping. There's going to be another passing of the gas. There's going to be another spit up, and that's okay. And that's what I came here today to really tell you, is that it's okay. And so this is why I wanted to talk about it, because again, many times we don't talk about the process when we hear people teaching us. And it's like when I'm in process and these things are happening, but nobody's told me about it, I start feeling uncomfortable and I start feeling like, man, I think I'm jacked up because I'm feeling this, I'm thinking that, I'm experiencing this, I'm experiencing that. And we go through all these different things mentally, spiritually, and emotionally because nobody told us about the process. So today I wanted to stop and just talk about the process, because I want you to remember, again, you're birthed. We talked about it last week. You've been birthed, but now the baby, you still got to drink the milk, and you're still going to sleep a lot. You're still going to spit up. You're still going to pass gas. You're still going to pee in your diaper. And that's okay. And I don't know how much I can keep encouraging you in this process that it's okay. DJ Lady Rasta, J Trey, good morning to you all. Thank you for coming in. And this is an open session for Institute for Higher Consciousness. And we're just wrapping up. And my thought for today was the dress and the yes. I had to go through that. I had to go through a dress and a yes for my litmus test to pass moving and passing into this new space and this new place. And with that, my alarm has already gone off for reclaiming the text. And with that, you can continue to talk over here. And I appreciate everybody that's come in Twitch. Those of you that are in Discord, you know, you can unmute yourselves and go ahead and talk. John, I'm so glad that you're here this morning. I love you, sir. There is so much in you, and there is so much power in you. And listen, the words that were spoken over you or not spoken over you, because I do understand sometimes it's not about what somebody said. Sometimes it's about what people don't say. And then even if, as I said, you know, I heard Little Black Sambo, I heard Tar Baby, I heard Skinny Minnie, even a dog wants some meat on the bone. I've heard all of that. So at the end of the day, you go through those phases, and if you hear that and that's all you hear, but you don't hear something to counteract that, there is a problem. And so whichever way that comes, I want you to hear from me. The hand of God is on you. You are so mighty. You are so powerful. There is so much to who you are, and it's not about what you do. It's about who you are. You are just a powerful and mighty man. And I want you to get ready for an open heaven. I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel sure and assured. I want you to feel loved, because definitely the Lion's Den loves you. I love you. I want you to feel that you have the ability to reach the unreachable. You have the ability to do all that God has assigned to your hands to do, you know, and I'm going to say it as I always say, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, John, the good things that God has in store for you. And so if you came in here this morning and you heard something and you felt like I was talking directly to you, receive it, because God's doing that in you. And you are birthed. It is happening. And it shall not be aborted. But what God has done, he that has begun a good work in you is able to complete it in you. It shall be completed. And I want you to believe that with all your heart. It shall be completed. And I appreciate you for coming in. And that being said, Tall Pumps is here, and today is her birthday. Today is Tall Pump's birthday, and so we just want to love on her this morning. Happy birthday to you, Tall Pumps. I didn't know if I was going to see you this morning or not because I knew it was your birthday, but we want to touch on that. Fairly All Day, my dearest friend, happy Saturday to you, and good morning to you. This, again, is an open session of the Institute for Higher Consciousness. And with that, I'm going to kick back. Anybody in, and you know how you can do it over in Discord, go ahead and unmute yourselves. If you have anything that you want, Tall Pumps, you're not in Twitch, but they're giving you happy birthdays over here, sis. So much love coming to you. I love you, man, John John. I love you. I love you. And it's okay. And I'm gonna say this about the tears and the crying. I want y'all to understand, many times that's how God is cleansing and the purging, and it's okay. It's quite all right. It's quite all right to let all of that out, because with those tears there's a cleansing and a purging that goes along with that. Please believe it. There's a cleansing and a purging that goes along with that. And so even as you walk through journeys, and even as the pains have been there, even as the hurt has been inflicted, this is a time of healing. This is a time of healing. And what I heard in my spirit, reverse the curse, reverse the curse. That is exactly what God is doing in you, John John. It's a reverse the curse. I don't care what was spoken, reverse the curse. It's not so. It's not so. It is not so. As a matter of fact, I'd be so bold to say, if they told you wasn't going to be nothing, it's because they know you're going to be something. It's going to be the exact opposite in reverse. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, whatever was spoken to you, whatever you heard, whatever your ear gate heard, whatever your eye gate saw, I want you to reverse the curse. Reverse the curse, because it is null and void. It is of no effect. And you are the mighty man that's going to come forth. Believe it, believe it, believe it. Anybody that wants to unmute, hey, I see those happy birthday to Tall Pumps. I see those happy birthday to Tall Pumps. Yes, go ahead. Let me see.
It's truck driver.
Come on, truck driver,
Okay.
talk to me.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, happy birthday to you, Tall Pumps. Today is your day. Tuesday will be mine on the 18th. But anyway, to
Yes,
go on to speak on the lesson of the day, I accept all of that you have told us about. We are being birthed and stuff. Get you a spiritual doula and all of that, because I know for myself, I've been told a whole lot. You know, I've shared my story numerous of times of people saying I wasn't gonna do this, I wasn't gonna make it. And stuff that I've done that I know I'm not proud of. And I thought I was keeping it from her. You can't keep nothing from a mother. I think she knew what I was doing, but she just didn't want to interfere. She was steady praying. I had a praying mother. So, and to touch on my spiritual doulas that have helped me, and that is Rebel, spiritual thought leader, Kim Possible, and Crazy Berry Time. Y'all have birthed me, and I've thrown up, and to John John. Just know, crying is all right, because I used to wouldn't cry, but now I cry when I have to and stop holding stuff in, because, like spiritual thought leader said, it's just a cleansing. And I just want to say this lesson here has touched home to me, and I'm like you too, spiritual thought leader. I be looking at sale rack and stuff, and I've blocked a lot of my blessing. When people wanted to pour into me, I've blocked them. But
yes,
after today, I'm not gonna block them no more. Whatever you want to do for me, I'm gonna let it happen.
come
You know
through.
what I'm saying? If
Yes,
if it's if it's a blessing for me and to me, then I got to let it happen, because, like you said, you could be blocking your blessing. So this one hurdle that I appreciate you sharing this text with us, and I really enjoyed it today. I'll be blessed and have a blessing.
bless you, truck. That's my guy. You, sir, I look at you, Mufasa, and I see how far God has brought you, and it's just astounding. But it's in you. It's been in you the whole time. It's just a matter of it coming forth, and the openness. And I'm so glad. And thank you for sharing and pouring into John John. I think there's something powerful about when men can pour into other men and encourage them and bless their hearts, and even encourage them to go ahead and release, because God has great things. God has great things. Thank you for being sensitive to that and being free. I want to say publicly, I thank you for encouraging me. Because listen, you gave me a word on the other day that put my feet on a whole different trajectory. So I thank you for that, and I appreciate wherever my blessings come from, and that word that you spoke into my life put me right where I needed to be to move forward in the flow. And so I thank you for that. God is doing great things, and great things yet to come. I keep saying it. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, and has not even entered into our hearts the good things that God has for us. I saw DJ, come in the room. Good morning. This is our Institute for Higher Consciousness. I did an open session today because we were just having an ad lib conversation today. And it has been a blessing. It has been a blessing. Michelle, I saw you say that is so true. Is there anything that you want to relate to anybody else? Go ahead and unmute your. Oh, I see you, Rebel. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Oh no, I wasn't. I've been unmuted the whole time.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just looked up and saw you were unmuted.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the instant? Go ahead, Michelle.
I was just saying that you were talking about how some of us are just givers, and it's hard to receive. I have just entered into the part to where I have learned to start to receive, because I have always just been a giver,
Yes.
just protector of people. And when people tried to bless me, I wouldn't allow them to. But after COVID and having 2 years of illnesses, it has taught me to sit down and let people do what they need to do for you. So that's kind of what I was saying. That's true. It's just a learned lesson for me.
Yes, yes. And that's good. And thank you for sharing that, because we do, and I think here in the Lion's Den, we do tend to have a lot of our lions that are givers, 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 and receiving is almost like it needs to be learned. It's almost like, okay. And so even as you shared, COVID came along, and after 2 years of serious illness, after complete lung failure, and the Lord healing you and bringing you back, what came out of that was the ability to receive help, or the ability to have people there, where you've always been that person that's always doing. And so that place of learning, many of us will probably need to engage in more often. And like I said, that's where your spiritual doulas can come. And again, they put that, don't worry about the gas, pass the gas, lest you get colicky, pass the gas, burp, pass it the other end, whatever way it comes out, get it out, just get it out. At the end of the day, you might spit up a little bit. That's okay too. That's part of the process. And this is where I really want to continue to encourage you all not to look at, oh my goodness, I smell something. Something got loose. Let it out. As my grandmother used to say, better out than in. Let that stuff out. Get it out of your system. It needs to get out of your system. If the spit up is there, it's okay. It's part of the process. Do not beat yourselves down. And that's where I really want to come, because so many times as we're new in this path and new in this journey, there comes this tendency to always have a spirit of condemnation, a condemning spirit that's always looking at shortcomings. And especially if you've not come from a real nurturing background where encouragement was just rampant in your life. Some of y'all know about life where you just had to encourage yourself in the Lord. Then it's hard sometimes to not automatically by default go to that expectation of negativity. And I want to encourage you to start to migrate away from that, and start seeing, operating, even with yourself. Give yourselves grace. Give yourselves grace. Babies pass gas. Babies burp. Babies spit up. It's okay. It's part of the process. And so I really want to encourage you in that. Come on, SK. Blocking your blessings will also block blessings meant for your blessings, meaning the giver. Accept blessings for your sake and for theirs. Now, there's a word, and somebody that is struggling with receiving, somebody needs to hear that word. And I'm going to say it again. SK said, blocking your blessings will also block blessings meant for your blessing, the giver. Accept blessings for your sake and for theirs. Good morning, Crazy Berrytown. That's my girl. Good to see you this morning. We're hosting an open session of the Institute for Higher Consciousness on today, and we're coming into the final moments of it. But I'm so glad that you joined in. So much mad love coming to you, sis. So much love. But I want to go back and again, the blessing is not just for you; it's also for the person that God has assigned to bless you. Get that in your mind. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. The person that's blessing you is also receiving a blessing. The person that's blessing you, come on in here, A.M. Harvey. The person that's blessing you is also receiving a blessing. So when you block that blessing, you've blocked it twofold. You've blocked it as the receiver, and you've also blocked for the giver. So for some that are still needing to burp, for some of you that is still passing gas and having difficulty digesting the receiving end, just put that in there. Let that come into your system. That there's a twofold block. You're not just blocking from your blessing, yourself from your blessing. You're also blocking on the other end. Thank you for bringing that up, SK8843. Appreciate that. Good stuff. Anybody else? We're reclaiming the text right now. We are in the final moments of the Institute, and this is the phase where anybody can talk about what we've discussed on topic today. This has been a good session, but again, just understand we're in process. Never kick process to the curb. I said this earlier. Adam and Eve were the only two that came here fully grown. Everybody else is going through process. They're the only two that came here fully grown and fully mature. Everybody else is going through the process. So that's the way we're going. That's the way we're going. Thank you, J. Trey. Thank you for this. You have been going through major changes, and you're not the same person you were a year ago. That person is gone, and I'm navigating a new space. You have really helped me with this. Come on, J. Trey. And definitely, sis, you are such a beautiful, beautiful dynamo and a powerhouse. Man, I just want you to know it for sure. And you're not the same person you were a year ago. And we said this on Friday, on yesterday. The spirit kept saying, listen, the caterpillar, then the cocoon phase to get to the butterfly never goes back to the caterpillar. The butterfly never goes back to the cocoon or the chrysalis. Once the butterfly comes forth, it's a butterfly. It's a complete transformation. Even as I said here in this session this morning, again, that baby's never going back in that mother's womb. I don't care how much we want to crawl back up in there and chill. You're not going to get back up in there. It may have taken you 8, 16, 20 hours to get out, but rest assured, once you get out, you're not going back. So this is something I want us to understand. We're not those same people. We're completely different. We've been transformed. And I want you to see your transformed self. I want you to operate as your transformed self. I want you to see the image and think and speak and know that you are that transformed self. I'm not that caterpillar. I'm not wrapped up in the cocoon of that chrysalis. I am a full-fledged butterfly. And that's who and what you are, J. Trey. And you're a beautiful woman. Just absolutely phenomenally beautiful. You are a dynamo. And I want you to move and flow in that power, in that boss energy, because it's who you are. It's not a matter even of who you're trying to be. It's who you are. Show them who you are. They need to see you and the power of who you are. But I do understand the challenge that comes along with it. And so again, for the grace that we can give ourselves to understand that doula, that spiritual doula, has the ability to put that diaper, that blanket over their shoulder, pick us up, pat us until we get that gas out, and there might be a little spit up with that. That's okay. They can handle that. They can handle that. They're made for that. Okay, they're made for that. So much love to you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. We're all. You're still figuring out how to use your wings. Come through. Come through. Come through. It's all good though. You will. I'm telling you. You will master it. You will master it, and then teach others how to master it too. J. Trey, you're just that. I just sense that teaching spirit in you, and you will master it, and you'll teach others to master it in your own way. Don't. One thing that came out yesterday, don't try to be somebody else. Be your own flavor, because it's your flavor that gives you the favor. So don't try to take on the trappings and the making of any other butterflies you see out there. You are unique. Your pattern on your wings is totally different. Your colors are different. It's a different vibrancy. It just, you fly your flight. You fly your flight. And I promise you, if you, and you are so uniquely you, J. Trey, that's one thing I like about you. When I come in your stream, you are so uniquely you, that therein lies the blessing. Just being yourself and just stretch your wings and fly. And you will. I love you. Anybody else in Discord? And I'm looking over, I'm trying to look at both what you all saying in Twitch. Anybody else in Discord that would like to come off mute? Go ahead, Kai Chick. I see
you. Some of the things, well, a lot of things you say really affected me, but I, oh man, it's a lot, but some of the names and stuff that you were called coming up, I can definitely relate to that. And I was always called wasted yellow, meaning that my skin was lighter, but I wasn't very pretty. It was a waste. And then I would just focus on the wasted part, you know. And then there were people in my family that resented my very birth because my mom had me at an advanced age. And I took on all that resentment and trying to prove myself and be a giver. And then it dawned on me as you're speaking, I'm like, you realize you're a walking miracle? Your mom had you in advanced age without any medical intervention on either side, my mom or my dad. I was wanted. I was loved. Why am I taking on this other energy from other people and not seeing, you know, as God sees me? I mean, maybe it's not ideal for a woman to have a fifth child at 46, but God had a purpose in it. And I need to, focus more on that. But shaking off the negativity is an ongoing journey for me.
Thank you for sharing that. And listen, for many of us, and I understand and I get the name calling and trying to recover from that. And it is a recovery process. It is a recovery. And you're really recovering yourself. And as you said, you're in that process of recovering yourself because, as you said, as you begin to stop and think, I was wanted. Let's just stop right there. At 46, I was wanted by my mother. She wanted me. I was wanted by my family. I was wanted, and just by starting to reclaim some of that you were robbed of from people's words, from people's hurtful words, and those darts, oh man, they are so powerful, and I can remember, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words have never hurt me. Quit lying. That word tore me up. Now,
yeah,
go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Words do hurt.
They do. And sometimes it takes us whole lifetimes if we're not careful, if we don't have that spiritual doula that can help us walk back through that thing and be healed, rise and be healed, we will find that sometimes those words just stick to us and dominate our lives. When I say dominate, I mean dominate. And that domination of those words are so destructive. And really what I want to point out more so than anything, those words rob you of your boss energy. if you allow, as we allow them to take root and grow and go deep in the roots and go deep in the soil of our hearts and our minds. And so how do we counteract that? Exactly what you were saying, Kai Chick, the ability to say, I was wanted, and then just make a whole list of things. Because listen, for your mother to give birth to you with absolutely no outside help and just bam, listen, God, tell me God is not doing and wasn't working miracles for you. And my heart, I just want to extend my heart, my arms, everything to you and just embrace you in love, because those words are a lie. Those words that were spoken over you were just straight up words from the pits and the depths of hell. And we're going to send them right back to the pit from whence they came, because that is not who you are. And so just go back and reclaim. And I do talk about this sometime, and I'll touch on it a little bit, because typically those types of scenarios happen in our childhoods. Some of us need to go back and reclaim the little child within. I'm going to say it again. Some of us need to go back and reclaim that little child within. Go get that hurt Regina. Go get that wounded Regina. Go love that hurt Regina and love on her and hug her and reinforce with positivity and eliminate the negativity. Sometimes you got to reparent. Go back and get that little child and reparent for those that need to do that. I'm grateful when I hear you say, Kai Chick, I had parents that loved me. I had parents that wanted me. That is so powerful. Then go back and reclaim that as you're doing, and reclaim all those other things to replace all of that ugly negative. That was really a lie. It was really a lie. But the whole goal is to stop you in your tracks and to render you impotent, where your power is gone. And the boss energy that God gave you from the foundation of the world is to try to strip that away from you. And you know what? Hurt people hurt people. We've heard this for years. Hurt people hurt people. And those that are wounded always run around and try to wound somebody else, because as they said in the old school, misery loves company. But at the moment you begin to decide, I'm not going to live in misery and I'm not going to give you company, and begin to take yourself back, reclaim that child, reparent yourself, whatever you need to do in that process, but do not allow those words to continue. Replace it with the truth, replace it with the positive, replace it with that God energy and that boss energy that is you. Because that, I promise you, there's nothing about you that's a waste, Kai Chick. Nothing at all. I love you, sis.
Thank you. I love you too, spiritual thought leader. You've been such a blessing. You are a blessing.
Bless you. Bless you. I love you so much. Anybody else that wants to share, just go ahead and unmute. I'm looking over in the chat. Good morning, Azalita. So glad to have you with us. I think we got it up. Anyone else in Discord that wants to unmute and talk, go ahead and unmute and I'll acknowledge you. Okay. All right. It looks like all hearts and minds over in Discord are clear. Let me look and see if anybody's talking in the Discord chat. Shelly Thunder. Shelly, can I read? Shelly, I'm going to read what you typed in, if that's okay. That you are the same as Michelle Brown. You still have trouble receiving and accepting and find it hard to do so because of growing up feeling you weren't worthy enough to be celebrated since you never was. Woo, that's a lot right there. And come on with breaking the curse. Come on with breaking the curse. Come on with breaking the curse. Come on, reverse the curse. That's what I told you. I heard in my spirit, even when I was talking to John, I heard reverse the curse. So not only for John, but anybody else that's in here, reverse the curse. And what you said was so powerful right there, Shelly. Never being celebrated, never hearing it is just as powerful as hearing the negative, or what, you know what I'm saying, manifesting the negative. If you don't hear it, it still creates an idea and an image in the child's mind. And so again, you are worthy. You're more than worthy. Listen. You are more than worthy. And I appreciate the fact that as you talk about breaking the curse, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that in the chat. And come on here, Rebel. Rebel done broke out with miracle signs and wonders. Y'all want me cut up this morning. Y'all want me to cut up this morning. Hashtag MSW. Listen, at the end of the day, everybody, you're not here by accident. There's a purpose for you being here. I'm going to keep talking about the spiritual doulas. Find yours if you have not as of yet, because I'm telling you, this process is a process. And that journey is not a journey that you're going to make alone. God will give you individuals that can really speak into you and bless you as you are going on this journey. I want to go back, and as we get ready to close, we're coming to the end of the hour of the 75 minutes. I want to go back, and I asked you all to write something in the chat. I'm going to ask you to do it once more and again. Let's see. I'm scrolling back up because I know my girl said it. Everybody here, you're not here by accident. You're not here by accident. There is a word that God has for you, and that God is saying for you and to you in this hour. I see you typing, Tall Pumps. Keep typing, and I'm going to have everybody type this in. I said this earlier on. KK typed it in, and thank you for doing that, sis. This is what I want you to say to yourselves. I'm ready to do what it is God created me to do. I'm ready to do what it is God created me to do. Put that in the chat. I'm ready to do what it is God created me to do. I'm ready to do what it is. I see you. God created me to do. I'm ready to do what it is that God created me to do. And I want you to say that and really mean it. I'm ready to do what it is that God created me to do. There are no mistakes. There's no wasted nothing. There's no all of the other ugly things that people want to say and things that we've heard against us. Listen, for this purpose, for this time, for this season, right now, as DJ LV says, not now, but right now, we're here to do what it is that God created us to do. Please believe it. We're here right now to do what it is that God put us on the face of this earth to do. And you are ready. You are ready. And I want you to go with confidence. And that's, again, why I'm taking the time to kind of detour a little bit as we're chatting and learning to discuss the elements of birthing and what happens after birth and so on and so forth, because I want you to be really, really clear on process. Did nobody come here fully mature but Adam and Eve? I'm going to say it. I'm going to keep saying it until you can get that in your shondo. Nobody came here fully mature except for Adam and Eve, because they were created that way. Everybody else goes through process. So as you're going through the process, do not confuse when you need to poop. Don't confuse when you need to burp. Don't confuse when you spit up or throw up. Do not confuse it with failure, because it is not. And we're all here and we're ready to do what it is that God created for us to do. So there we have it. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna catch these last parts. Tall Pumps, you agree? Come on. It's our turn, sis. It's our turn. It's our turn, Tall Pumps. Come on with that. It's our turn. You all can't see what they're saying in the chat in Discord, but I see you, Tall Pumps. It's our turn. I spoke that to a dear friend of mine in Kansas City. She's a phenomenal anointed artist, and she's doing a relaunch right now. And I just told her, I said, listen, we're under an open heaven. It's our turn. So when you said that, that just immediately resonated in my spirit, Tall Pumps. And I want you to have that in your mind. And it's okay. It's our turn. It's our turn because God said, I'm ready. We're ready to do what it is that God created for us to do. And that's the way we're rolling in this hour, right? I love you guys so much. I'm looking. J. Trey, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. Listen, you are everything that God wants you to be, J. Trey, and he's working on all of us. But please believe you got the power right now. You have the power. It's in you. And I say this to people all the time. Listen, it was in you all along. It was in you all along. If I said anything that might crack the door or open the window so you can see it or hear it or sense it or smell it, whatever sense is attached to it, it's in you. It's already there. And God put it in you from the foundation of the world. Now, I'm ready to do what it is that God created for me to do. I appreciate you guys. I see one more chat going on here in Tall Pumps and Truck Driver are both typing. I'm checking both streams here. Anybody else? Come on. I see you, SK8843. I'm ready to do what it is God created for me to do. I see you. One reason. Yes. Woo, I felt something. You're ready to do what it is God created you to do. Come on here, Fairly. I'm ready to do, come through what it is God created you to do. Come on, BTD Mom. I'm ready to do what it is God created me to do. John Studios, I'm ready to do what God created me to do. Come on here, KK. I'm ready to do what it is that God created for you to do. I see you, J. Trey. I'm ready to do what it is God created for me to do. Shelly Thunder, I'm ready to do what it is that God created me to do. The Rebel Inc., I'm ready to do what it is God created for me to do. I see you. Come on here, Two Tams. Come on in here, Two Tams. So much love to you. You're ready to do what it is that God created for you to do. Come on. Oh my God. Truck Driver, I'm ready to do what it is that God created me to do. Kai Chick, I'm ready to do and receive and live. Girl, you better come on. You Chick, girl, you better evangelize and tell. Come on here. Do all of that, sis. Do all of that. You better speak over here. You better speak, and ain't nothing wasted. Ain't nothing wasted, Kai Chick. Oh, y'all stirring up something. Let me calm down. Tall Pumps, I'm ready to do, receive, and live. Y'all, come on. Oh, that's Tall Pumps. You better come on in here. Coming through, everyone. I want y'all to enjoy your day. Truck Driver, it took me up to this time to see what others saw in me that I couldn't believe what they were saying to me, but you're ready. Come on in here. Linda said she's ready. Come on here, Two Tams. Linda is ready to do what it is that God created her to do. And that's the way we're going out today, y'all. That's the way we're going out. We're ready. We're ready. We are ready. You just might spit up a little bit. You just might burp. You just might have a little poop in your pants. But that does not negate the baby. Please believe it. That does not diminish or take any power away from the baby. It's all part of the process. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. I am ready to do what God created me to do. And that's the way we're going out today. Everyone have a great weekend. Do it on purpose, as Shelly Thunder says. I love you all. I just love you. Oh, you're so Azalea, as a leader, I appreciate you for being here. 1920, come on in here. So much love to you. Fairly all day. You know nothing but mad love to you. And as Shelly Thunder says, everyone enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend on purpose. Oh, come on with that hashtag. Break the curse. Break the curse. Hashtag be intentional. I love every last one of you guys. Have a great evening and blessings to you. Blessings. So much love.